Morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dan Beasley Show. Today is 8/12/2013. It's 9:20 a.m. It's on a sunny, warm South Carolina morning, and coming to you with the latest in news from around the world and from the United States as well as Israel. And we have news on tap coming to you about sinkholes, meteor showers, Splenda warnings, and also food drug warnings. And wrapping it up with the weather at the end of the show. Hope everything is with you, going well with you on this Monday morning. Hope you're enjoying your jobs. I hope those that are looking for jobs will find jobs. Anyway, this is the State of the Union as it is today, news-wise. In Florida, coming out of Florida, there's a sinking Florida resort villa that's been evacuated. Excuse me. Sinkhole cracked foundation in a villa housing vacationers in Central Florida resort near Disney World on Sunday, causing the building to slowly sink and prompting the evacuation of the hotel. Lakes County Sheriff Sergeant James Vashon told WSH in Orlando the incident about the Summer Bay Resort in Claremont caused structural damage, and firefighters and sheriff's deputies were working on the scene and no injuries were reported. Witnesses told the Associated Press they could hear cracking sounds as the villa sank. A large crack was visible at the building's base. Luis Perez, who was staying at a villa near the sinking one, said his room, and he was in his room when the lights went out around 11 p.m. Said on his way to the front desk to report the outage when he saw the firefighters and police outside. He said he started walking towards where they were, and you could see the building leaning, and you could see a big crack at the base of the building. He called the other vacationers in his group, and they had them come outside eventually. Authorities evacuated the villa and a third one as well. The Summer Bay Resort is about 10 miles west of Disney World. Excuse me, folks. I'm having a difficult time today. I'm a diabetic, and it takes some time to get things together sometimes. And I'm under a lot of stress right now, so I hope that you'll bear with me. Second news item today is the bank's collection companies are withdrawing RICO actions or RICO actions. In New York, off the street, big banks facing unprecedented pressure to rein in the behavior of buyers of their charged-off credit card debt. And this pressure is coming from two sources, one well-known and one almost not. No one has ever talked about yet. That will put fear in the heart of every banker that hears them. That's CFPB and RICO, or RICO. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is the nation's protector of consumers in all matters. And an outgrowth of the financial crisis beginning in 2008, the CFPB is specifically charged with supervision and regulation of two industries, banking and private debt collection. This is the first time these two industries have been supervised by the same agency. The intersection of banking and private debt collection rises when the bank sells defaulted credit card loans. The sale of these loans is common and serves as a real purpose for the bank. According to the Nielsen report, last year the banking industry sold $51 billion in delinquent credit card loans. These loan sales produced approximately $5 billion in recoveries for the banking industry. Our next news item is the Newtown Starbucks, Newtown, Connecticut, where the shooting happened at the Sandy Hook School. The Newtown Starbucks closed before a gun event was happening this weekend. In Hartford, Connecticut, Newtown, Connecticut, the Starbucks store here closed early Friday, taping a notice to its door indicating it didn't want to take part of a national observance by gun advocates. Advocates had planned to meet at Starbucks store across the country Friday evening to show their appreciation that the Seattle-based corporation does not prohibit customers from entering its stores with firearms that have open carry laws. The store in Newtown was listed as one of the stores to be visited. On December the 4th, 20 first graders and 6 educators were killed by a gunman at the town of Sandy Hook. Many of the town's residents have been vocal supporters of stronger gun control laws. Although the store had closed, more than a dozen gun supporters showed up at the store on Churchill anyway, many carrying their weapons openly. A handful of gun control supporters also showed up. And as a steady rain fell, the two groups took shelter under different parts of the building's overhang. The fourth story for today is more drum beating and more saber rattling going on, pardon the pun, over in the Middle East. Destruction of Israel's guaranteed Ayatollah says. Iran's supreme leader promises the Jewish land to the Palestinians. And we'll get into that story. Iran's supreme leader promised a newly released audio tape of the destruction of Israel and the Palestinians' return to that land. Fars news agency and outlet run by the Revolutionary Guards last week posted an audio tape with excerpts of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's speeches to Palestinian officials and others with the title Palestine Will Surely Become Free. In the audio tape, which is partly in Arabic, Khamenei gives blessings to those who fight against Israel and says, "Peace be upon the children of our nation, peace be upon the brave jihadists and Palestinian and Lebanese resistance. Today, the Islamic world and the whole world are witnesses to great revelations that show change in international affairs. Ayatollah promises a restructuring of the Middle East. Palestine will not be free. Palestine will be free. We have no doubt in this. Palestinians will return there and there will be a Palestinian government. And that is based on truth revealed by God. A new Middle East will be an Islamic Middle East." And anyway, moving on to our next story. And this is kind of like out of the world, so to speak. Fireballs shred through the Earth's atmosphere. Meteorites hit the Earth every day. That's just a known thing. Several times during the year, the Earth passes through tails of some comets that have previously passed by and crossed the Earth's orbit, leaving debris, which in turn falls back to the Earth, and it becomes a meteorite if it reaches the Earth. It's a meteor if it's just seen in the sky. Anyway, the Perseids meteor shower is going to peak this weekend. Look to the sky Sunday, Monday night. Sunday's already gone. It says, or better yet, super early Monday and super early Tuesday morning for what National Geographic says should be the best celestial fireworks show of the year. Each year in August, the Earth passes through a cloud of debris from the swift total comet, resulting in a spectacular show in the northern hemisphere. Residents call it a Perseid meteor shower. The prolific shower has been known to produce 60, 70, even 100 visible shooting stars per hour. And I have seen this before, and it's really, really a nice light show. You have to be on your toes to really watch them because, I mean, it's a fraction of a second and they're gone. Um, but you do get to see the meteors, and they do originate out of what appears to be a certain place in the sky, and they cross over, and you get a chance to see them. Anyway, my wife and I, we got out in a car one night about 4 a.m. and we were watching it, keeping warm with the automobile uh, heater and everything, and sipping on some coffee and watching the shower. First time we'd ever seen one. Anyway, it says get out of the city and the lights and give yourself a chance to see them. Chance, because of light pollution, you may not be able to see them. Along with the Perseids, people are particularly likely to see spectacular meteors called fireballs that are brighter than the planets of Jupiter or Venus. And as it passes through the dust trail, it encounters debris, some of it which can be the size of a grapefruit or larger, which can cause fireballs. Chances of seeing fireballs always increase when you see a strong meteor shower like this one. So if you want to see a spectacular show, folks, you may want to take this in. Write this on your calendar. Next news item is a sudden flood of asylum requests at U.S.-Mexican border. At the Otay crossing of the San Diego border last Monday, about 200 people coming from Mexico gained entry to the United States. Using the same key phrase, they claimed they had a credible feeling of drug cartels. So many were doing this that they had to close down the processing center and move the overflow by vans to another station. They're being told if they came across the border, when they come up to the border and they said certain words, they'd be allowed into the country. So the person who did not want to be identified. We are being overwhelmed, according to the officials. Moving on to our next story, Splenda, one of the most popular artificial sweeteners on the market, has gone from safe to caution after leukemia has been found in mice. The Center for Science and Public Interest is urging caution in the use of the artificial sweetener Splenda. A food safety advocacy group has downgraded its rating for sucralose, the artificial sweetener better known as Splenda, from safe to caution in its chemical guide to food additives. The Washington-based Center for Science and the Public Interest announced Wednesday that it had long related sucralose as safe, but is now categorizing it with a caution, pending peer review of an unpublished study by an independent Italian lab that found the sweetener caused leukemia in mice. Other artificial sweeteners such as saccharin, aspartame, and acesulfame potassium have received the center's lowest rating to avoid. So the saccharin is the pink stuff. The aspartame is, of course, the blue stuff. Splenda is the green stuff. And moving on to the use of drugs and hormones in food and products. How drugs pumped into supermarket chicken pose a terrifying threat to our health. Every second somewhere in the world, the same scene unfolds. Batch several eggs, precisely arranged in a uniform rows, move along a conveyor belt, coming underneath the halt beneath the machine linked to a jumble of tubes. Once in position, the machine robotically lowers itself, simultaneously punches each egg with a rack of hypodermic needles, and through these needles a mix of vaccines and antibiotics is injected into the egg, and so into the unborn chick inside, which 3 days later will hatch out. 3 days later, folks. A scene that sounds like something from a science fiction film. Then that is hardly a surprise. Today's large-scale production of poultry has precious little to do with green fields and ruddy-cheeked farmers. So it's big business. And wrapping up our story for today, Tornado Central. Severe storm threats, high winds, and flooding and wildfires are all in this news today. Monday, the forecast is strong thunderstorms flaring up over the Rockies. Scattered thunderstorms across the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, deep south, Central Plains, and the Rockies. Strong thunderstorms afternoon and evening should flare up in parts of Kansas, northern Oklahoma, and Missouri. Overnight, additional thunderstorms may fire up in this general area, extending east to the Ozarks. Excuse me. While damaging straight line winds that somehow are the early threats. Local flash flooding, given saturated ground and rivers still running high, may be a bigger concern. Elsewhere, scattered and numerous thunderstorms will drench the deep south. Thunderstorms will fire up along a cold front in the Great Lakes and perhaps a brief strong wind gust. With hail with the heaviest hails. Strongest thunderstorms in the high plains and Rockies may produce large hail and strong wind. And it's concern for additional wildfire starting out due to thunderstorms and from the interior northwest into the desert southwest. And you can keep yourself updated by tweaks from the severe weather live ticker from the Weather Channel and the local national weather services in the current threat areas. And that is our news for today, folks. That is it. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for your attention. I hope you have a great day. This is Dan Beasley signing off, and hoping that you'll have a great and productive day. Take care. Join us at our next broadcast if you would. Thank you.